Hey guys, so welcome back to part 2 of my faith Q&A. If you haven't seen part 1, I would highly recommend watching that one first because it does give you a little more background about my faith. I explain things a little bit more, and so it will probably make more sense watching the first part first. I hope I can answer even more questions and help you guys a little bit more in this half of the video. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get started. Do you drink alcohol / does your religion influence it? So I think different Christians will answer this different ways, but yes, I do have a drink every now and then, but I do not want to get drunk, I do not want to get smashed, I do not find that appealing or interesting at all. That is just not my thing. Part of that is because I'm not a big drinker. I don't find that interesting. I don't want to do that. I don't want to live that life because that is just my personality and my lifestyle choice. But the other part of that is because God has talked about that in the Bible, and He has said that being drunk is not something that He would really appreciate. And that makes sense because drunk people do stupid things. A lot of people think that the Bible is like full of rules and just like really crazy, and God will hate you if you don't follow these rules. But so many of the things that He has laid out for us and the guides He has given us are just because they're smart decisions to make. Not getting drunk is a smart decision to make. But going along with that, Jesus also did turn water into wine, guys. That was His first official miracle. So I don't think He's completely against alcohol either. I just think you should be careful with alcohol. It is dangerous if you're not careful with it. And I think that it's very important to know your limits and know your environment. And I'll probably do another video on that as well if you guys want to see it, just all about parties and drinking and stuff like that. But I do want to say that I did wait until I was 18 years old, which is the legal drinking age here in Australia, until I did have my first drink. I literally had my first drink with my family on my 18th birthday at my 18th birthday dinner, and I'm very glad that I waited. I don't think I missed out on anything at all, guys. If anything, I feel like it taught me how to have fun at parties sober, and I'm so grateful that I can have fun being sober because it makes life a lot easier. But yeah, I do drink sometimes, on special occasions mostly, but even then I just don't really drink a lot. But that's just my thoughts on that. If you're a Christian, do you have to go to church? No. If you're a Christian, you do not have to go to church. In the same way, going to church does not make you a Christian. To be a Christian means inviting Jesus into your heart and living your life for Him. So technically that doesn't involve church, and church is not the foundation of your faith, but I do really think that church has a significant impact on your faith, and I really do think that church is an amazing place and is totally underestimated by so many people. I go to church every Sunday night. I also try to go in the mornings if I'm not working. I think it is a great place. It brings me so much happiness and so much joy. It encourages me, it challenges me, and it teaches me, and it gives me the opportunity to be surrounded with like-minded people who support me and want to grow me and want to help me in my relationship with God. And if you're a Christian and you're trying to live your life for God, for Jesus, why wouldn't you want to surround yourself with Christians who are also trying to do the same thing, because it really does encourage you and push you. So no, technically if you're a Christian you don't have to go to church, but I do really think that it will change your life and it will really help you to grow in your faith. And if you've had a bad experience at a church, I really highly recommend trying a different church, because I feel like there is a church out there for everybody. There are so many churches out there, and it's so great when you do find a church family and a small group of people or a larger group of people who really do love you and support you in your faith. And it's just such an incredible thing, and it will really help you with your faith. Have you ever not wanted to be a Christian anymore? I had to think about this one for a while because I couldn't really think of any times where I didn't want to be a Christian anymore. And after thinking about it, I don't think there is a time that I can pick out where I was just I wish I wasn't a Christian. But there have definitely been times where being a Christian has been difficult, or just living life has been difficult. I think some people think that if you're a Christian, it means that God is going to take away all your problems, He's going to deal with them, you don't have to deal with them anymore, He's going to look after you and sort out your issues and turn your life around. And God can really 100% change your life and turn it around. But He's not going to do that unless you put some work in there as well. You are not going to wake up one morning and all your problems are gone. That is just not how it works. Being a Christian just means you have someone with you every single step of the way who's going to help you through those issues, guide you through those issues, help you grow and learn from those experiences. And some of you might be like, yeah, but I have a friend or a family member who will do that for me. I hate to break it to you, but they're not always going to be there. They're not always going to be there 100% of the time for the rest of your life. And some of you might be like, yeah, well, I'm going to trust myself to bring myself through those instances. Yeah, you can do that, but you're a person and people fail. Whether you like it or not, you will fail at something at some point in your life. And no matter how much you try to succeed, there are going to be times where you just can't deal with things. And that is where I truly believe that God kind of steps in and He is that person. And God is someone who is going to be there forever, 100% of the time. Like literally forever, until the end of time, and probably further, let's be real. But back to the question, I'm starting to ramble. But there have been times where I have felt absolutely broken inside, and I've just been like, God, where are you? Like, what are you doing in my life? Like, why is my whole life just turning upside down? I just don't understand. And in those times, I may have questioned, is God real? Like, where is He? Where is He in this situation? This is when I need Him the most. But in all of those situations, every single time, I have been able to get through it, and I've been able to grow from it and learn from it. And every time I can look back on that situation and understand why I had to go through that, because I would not be the person that I am today if I had not gone through that experience. So yeah, there have been times where I've just been like, God, where are you? Like, what are you doing? Why are all these bad things happening to me? Or why do I feel this way? Why do I feel so terrible inside? But I've never not wanted to be a Christian. I feel like those times have made me just be like even more desperate for God, and those are the times where I've gotten to know Him the most, like understood Him the most, and grown the closest to Him. So no, there's not been any times where I have not wanted to be a Christian anymore. I have never, ever, ever regretted the decision of becoming a Christian. So that's really awesome. But yeah, that was a long question. I'm sorry that took a little long. How do you know God's plan for you? Short answer is, I don't. I have no idea what God has planned for me. No idea at all. And although that does answer your question, I'm going to elaborate a bit more because I feel like that's not very helpful. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." And so I do believe with my whole heart that God has a plan for every single person on this earth. Not just the Christians, not just the people who have asked Him for a plan. He has a plan for every single person, whether you think He does or not. And I think that plan is absolutely amazing and incredible and totally mysterious, because no one will ever fully know what God's plan is for them until they're at the end of it and they can look back and be like, oh, that was the plan. There is no way ever that you'll know exactly what God wants you to be doing in your life 100% of the time. Hopefully there will be times in your life where you're like, okay, God, I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you want me to be doing, and I'm going to go do those things. But I can promise you that there are going to be many times in your life, probably majority of the time, where you have no idea what God is doing in your life, and you're like, God, what are you doing? Like, this was not my plan. And a lot of people make the mistake of creating their own plans, because we are human beings, and a lot of us human beings like to make plans, myself included. There have been so many times where I have made a plan where I've been like, okay, God, so this is going to happen today, this is going to happen next week, this is going to happen next year, this is when I'm going to get married, this is when I'm going to have kids, rah, rah, rah. And God's been like, no, that is not what you are going to be doing. Just you wait and I will show you what I've got in store for you. And there have been so many times where I've been like, I'm going to do this. And God's like, no, Rachel, you're going to do that. And it has totally flipped my ideas upside down and confused me. And I've been like, God, what am I doing? This was not my plan. I had a plan and you are not following it. And He's just up there in heaven probably laughing at you, being like, yeah, but I have a plan. And in Jeremiah 29:11, it says, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And that shows us that although we may not know what that plan is, it is a great plan. And it is better than anything we could ever imagine or anything that we could ever plan for ourselves. And so no, I don't know what God's plan is for me. I don't know what His plan is for me today, tonight, tomorrow, next year, in 20 years' time. I know it's going to have hard times. I know it's going to have struggles. There are going to be challenges, but I know that He is going to look after me and He is going to get me through every single one of those challenges. So yeah, hopefully that helps you a little bit. Has your relationship with God changed the way you view the world? Extremely so. When I was in my early teens, I went through a period in my life where I just struggled with so many things. It was just a really I don't think it was like a really dark time in my life, but I just struggled with a lot of things. And it was a time in my life where I was not close to God and I was trying to do everything on my own. And I know that a lot of people could relate to that when I say that if you try and do everything by yourself, it just doesn't work out. And at that point in my life, I was so sad and so miserable and so pessimistic on life. I didn't understand why I was here. Like, I just did not see the world in a good way. And luckily I got out of that stage, out of that period. And ever since, I have really just put my whole trust and my whole heart in God and like given him everything that I have become the person that I am today. And you guys would never ever think that I was a like sad, miserable little teenager before this, because I'm just so incredibly happy and I am filled with so much joy. And the only thing that has really changed in my life since that stage and like to now has been my relationship with God. So I really do think that my joy and my happiness comes from God. And I know I said this in a video a while back and someone got kind of, not offended, but they were just kind of like, if that is where your joy comes from, that's kind of sad, because you're putting your joy in like something else other than like yourself. Like, you should be able to make yourself happy. And although that person is totally welcome and I'm like totally happy for them to have their own opinion, I just can't relate to that, because to me, God is the only stable thing that we have as humans. He is the only thing that is never ending. He is never changing, and he will always there, and he will always unconditionally love us. And there is no one or nothing in this world that can provide you with that sort of unconditional, never changing, everlasting love and care and security. You may have had a best friend for over 10 years. You may have your family who absolutely adores you and you absolutely adore them. You may have an incredible boyfriend or girlfriend who you have like given your entire heart to. You may have a passion that you're trying to follow with your whole heart, like a career that you're trying to get to, and that is like what motivates you and gives you joy. And that's totally up to you in how you live your life. But for me, I see those things as temporary. I don't see those things as complete security. People can leave, people will pass away, people get old, people's minds go. There is never going to be a person who will never ever fail you, because we're human beings and we fail. And careers don't work out, plans don't work out, you know, nothing is as secure as God. And so people thinking that I'm putting my joy and like my happiness in God is sad. Well, in my opinion, you putting your happiness and your joy in something other than God is just kind of a risky thing to do, in my opinion. I just view the world so differently now that I have such a strong relationship with God. And I hope that I'll only continue to grow in that relationship with God, because I know that I will never like reach a level and be like, okay, I'm done now. Like, I will always and forever be growing and changing and developing and improving. I never ever want to reach a stage where I'm like, okay, I'm content now, I'm done. Like, I always want to be growing. But I think this world is a broken place. I think it is a terrible place. I think it is a sinful place. But at the same time, I think it is an absolutely beautiful place filled with incredible people and amazing opportunities. And I did not think that way when I didn't have God. And I know a lot of you who don't have God will still be positive people, and I think that is awesome. I really encourage you to be a positive person and a happy person. But I am telling you that you have no idea what joy is until you find joy in Jesus. And I really believe that. I know a lot of you won't understand that, and that's totally fine, because I don't believe that you can understand that until you have felt it for yourself. But that is my opinion. That is my perspective. And I'm not telling you that your happiness is wrong. I'm not telling you that your happiness is bad and your positivity is like terrible. I'm just telling you the way that I view the world and how much that has changed, and how my happiness and joy has just increased outstandingly. So that is all of the questions that I am answering today. I'm sorry if this is a very long video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys found it interesting. And if you do have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, because I will be down there chatting to you guys. And if you did find this sort of video interesting and you're new to my channel, please subscribe, because I do plan to do more faith videos, whether you like it or not. Sorry guys. If you guys don't like hearing about my faith, I probably just would unsubscribe right now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really hope you did. But I should probably go now. And I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Goodbye and God bless.